Can you share the slide on your Facebook?
Share the slides on the Facebook. Yeah. Go and like our Facebook first. Okay. Android trader is here.
Please. Thank you. Just entered.
Very easy. This is a good one. Okay. This is not the price. The price will be the one, not the second hand one.
Which one the light was there?
What is the slide about? I do a lot of slides. Technical, right? No, depends. Actually, just a survey first. This is actually an introduction to Android, or no?
Because they know Android already lah.
You all know Android already.
Okay.
So you develop for Android already.
Okay.
Can I assume that?
The most important thing is you need to give the Ubuntu file. Okay. Then you need to give the content.
Okay.
You know,
Because I thought it's actually very special section. Actually, it's just to learn theory on Android. That's the other session, right? If other session is doing introduction, then Android is awesome.
you focus on.
I do whatever I want.
I do what I want. Give your content.
Okay, tutup je lah.
So it's probably too selective. So if that's the case, I just start right away. And then if it's the swim actually you start from scratch, you take a time. So you ask me, interrupt me anytime actually you see why are you doing this? So my name is internet. So anyone, just a survey anyone has never looked for Android before? You write Android app. You too are on Android before. I recognize you. So our service is interested for those who are actually interested for others as well.
Yeah, maybe you just open, switch it on and then leave it on the table.
Okay, that's actually those informations, the information you actually don't need me to be here, right? Hello, do we? Okay. Okay, I see what I can do lah. Because my slide very specific. It's a session actually is really. It's too dark for me. It's okay. Second. I don't use keyboard.
Android Guru.
So there's because when I'm being told to give a session, it's actually they say, oh, just mention about Bluetooth low energy lah. So because of that, I think the slide need to be changed a bit. But you see, this is okay, but I have to change it. Just update a bit. Just change it. So now, okay, I just talk more on this slide just again because it's an introduction. So I think most of you know what is a Bluetooth, right? They start quite some time ago. The Bluetooth, they actually we use it mostly for headset. Some of the GPS receiver, you transfer photo to your another phone, that kind of things. That's actually the Bluetooth 2.0, right? That's the one where it started to become popular. So after that, right, there's a problem with that Bluetooth which is actually it needs pairing. So the part that actually need to pair means actually every time you have a new device, you have to go to the screen to actually go search, then pair, and some of them actually someone need they pop up a number, you have a key in here, actually you have to remember it's either 000 or 1234. Those are all the old school Bluetooth So that's one inconvenient. Next one is actually Bluetooth 2.0 actually take a lot of battery power. That's why you have to charge your Bluetooth headset if you're using it almost every day. You don't want it to have no battery also the next day, right? So you usually have to charge it every day. So that's the two problems that actually Bluetooth cannot be simply used on everything because you need to charge it means the battery cannot be small, you need a charging circuit and so on. So what happened is actually some group in Nokia, that one you have to read yourself, I forget which group, they suddenly design wireless communication. They found it actually use very little power. That's the point. They use very little power. And that time, they need to, since wireless technology, you need to license it. You need to put it inside some group. So there's not much of choice. Wi-Fi group, Bluetooth, special interest group, and so on and so on. They choose the cheapest one, which is Bluetooth. Bluetooth SIG charge the less if you want to license market it . So they go to the group and then say, hey, we have this new wireless technology, still running 2.4 gig just like your existing one. Can you license it out? So they say yes. Of course, it's actually suddenly they solve our problem. Look, wow, you use so little energy and so on. Someone can add this security. Okay? What do they call it? The existing group want to call it Bluetooth low energy. They say, no good. We call it Bluetooth smart very smart . So what they do, they put this specification inside Bluetooth 4.0 Therefore, in Bluetooth 4.0, you have another wireless communication technology called Bluetooth low energy . So the conclusion is what? Bluetooth low energy has nothing to do with your Bluetooth. Correct? Correct or not? The story, do you notice actually what we have seen here is just a new technology. It can be called wireless smart wireless low energy whatever. It's just because it's licensed by Bluetooth special interest group to get adoption very fast. You call it Bluetooth low energy . And then of course the next thing is actually, if that's the case, right, how about some device actually can do both inside one module? There are two IC, two antenna inside usually. It's actually separate. So those are actually Bluetooth dual role which actually can go back to old one or use the new one. Usually they only share the transmitter and the antenna. The rest are separate. It's different, totally different. So now you know it's totally different, right? So when you want to develop app for Bluetooth low energy, you treat it as a new technology. everything you learn from scratch. Don't look at your old code of 2.0, it doesn't work at all. Scanning, pairing, it's different. Why Bluetooth Low Energy also have one very good, nice thing is actually doesn't need pairing. So if sometimes you see, then why do some of the device you pair to it, you pair to the 2.0 portion of the device, which sometimes they still use it. Because 2.0 portion of the Bluetooth still actually do something else that actually the Bluetooth Low Energy can do, which is a lot more data, and then since it's pairing, they can identify and all that. Okay? So now, so that's the story. Any question? So the next thing will be then it start to exist in what make it popular is because Apple put it in iOS for quite some time already. They picked this probably because of low power and so is low power consumption is the main thing, and you just have to remember this. So if something you do right, since you're developing app, it doesn't matter. I'm talking about the other side. If you do sensor, you do device, which actually doesn't fit into the idea that actually you actually need very little power, then it's not a good idea to take this also. You might as well use something like Zigbee or Wi-Fi. Those have their advantage. And it's actually kind of low cost now because it's getting adoption. You check China, AliExpress and those, you can get very cheap module with bulk purchase. Okay, now the next thing is, of course, iOS, you wait for iOS people to explain if you want to ask them. Sample code, iOS, with BLE also can find and the developer side. We're talking about Android. So, Android support BLE only since Jelly Bean 4.3. That means it's 18, right?
19.
18 or 19?
19.
You can check later. So, means actually any device before that won't support it. So which means usually either you have a very late new device or actually you have to put some custom ROM if the original manufacturer didn't do it for you. And when it start, which actually most of the device now are still in this, is actually only support central row. Central row means actually you will try to connect to someone that actually ever, connect to me. Okay, there are two rows. One is called peripheral row, one is called central row. Peripheral row is like this. I want you to be connected, so please connect to me, please connect to me. You have to tell everyone. So that's advertising. So you have to advertise. So sometimes that's why actually the app it works like this. You on the button something, they start to advertise. So actually other people can see, oh, this device is available, so let's try to connect. So the one that actually advertise yourself to be connected is called peripheral row. The one that actually connect to it after you successfully saw it and connect to it, that's the central row. Okay? Server and client is a different story. We're just talking about the row here. Which means that in your phone, Android phone, if you have BLE support, it can not advertise 4.3. It can only connect to other people that try to advertise. Okay? They fixed it in the latest release. L, called L preview or something which I assume you can't use it. I mean, it's not technically official yet. So we assume you actually just connect it as a central row, which is of course because if it's censored, these are the one peripheral row. They advertise, you check it, you connect to it. Okay, that's the main. And then you have to start to, this is technical already. Any question before that? You want to ask some questions? I can skip to some of the... Okay, there's a few terms. See which actually I'm not sure whether got very nice slide. It's done with the terms actually you start to see, which is the services. Wow, really? Why like that? Services, that's one term you see a lot. Then you see characteristics. And then you see, there's one more. Characteristic. But that one you seldom use, that's why I think, descriptors. there are 3 layers of kind of information being so the easiest one to just check is, let's open some apps and check. Not my app, but this one you can just download. So there are many apps on the Play Store that actually you can just download and do some diagnostic like that. They scan, they show you all the services on the device. Go into the services, they show you all the characteristics. Now you understand, oh, it seems like a hierarchy. So services like is like a list of directory. Okay, you go to Bangsa, you go to Selangor, you found PJ, you found UM, it's the same. You go to services, you found characteristic, you found descriptor. After you find what you want, what can you do? Test properties. But let's scan and see. Any questions? Because I need to connect. 15 meters usually. But it depends on the site. Because phone you can't do anything. The other side actually you can increase the transmit power. And so on. So I start my phone here. So if you have a device, so actually you can try see whether, you see now this one Bluetooth is not on, so let's on it. And then one of the apps I use a lot is from TI, because TI actually produced one of the most popular BLE chip. TI is a Texas Instrument. So the app is called BLE Device Monitor. It's very useful. You actually can build the app, but since the PV doesn't crash and so on, we use it directly. So right away you can see, it start to scan the app start to scan. These are all the device advertising now. So I don't know who is it what is the force, what is the I choice, you should know if you are here. So let's do something we want. So let's say I start another one. This is a TI development tools. So if I click, it starts to advertise. I have to scan again. So I should get another one. Okay, I modify the name, but you can ignore the name. It's supposed to be called what we call sensor tag. I just fun go and change the name. But that means on the firmware side. So now see this is actually we can do this also. We can start a scan. You show the name, the family name, and a MAC address. You can't really change the MAC address because it's hard coded on the hardware. And then the signal strength. Okay? Signal strength is what Apple use as iBeacon. So if you know what is iBeacon, they use it to detect whether an Apple device has go into a shop. Somewhere actually you can decide, there's a discount on this speaker, you want or not? They can do all that. Why? Because based on signal strength, right, you can tell how far is it. There's a device called iChoice, it's very far away. Not very, very far away, means it's because negative 91 is quite far away. So this is quite near. Negative 40 is very near, but still depends the orientation. This actually is quite. So when it's at us range, right, you're standing there, facing you like this, facing you like this, or actually putting in my hand like this, all different. And depend also got glass, got wall, got something. So now what happens is actually once you have you found the device, right? So you can just go inside, which means you connect to it. It's called GAT. We don't bother about the name. Just know I can connect to it to do what? To check all the services. So let's click. So now he will do a service discovery for that particular MAC address. Actually, I click. Because it disconnect. You have to, if it start to sleep, right, you have to wake it up again. So it also depends on your device. Okay, these are all the services on this particular MAC address. Okay, these are services. And their identification is something called UUID. Unique something like ID. You see the long name there? Okay? So from the service, so actually services, you take it as the way you remember services. You provide service, right? So if I want to tell you what is the temperature now, what do you provide? A temperature service. So you want to tell you what is the humidity now? There's a humidity service. Well, every device is like this. You can try later if you want, just start this. This is the one, is it? My choice. Is it on? Who actually hold one? Who is holding one? Is it on?
I think so.
Oh. That one, I think one. But it's inside some box or something, right? So these are services. So what can you do? You actually open the services. So that actually you can check what is the characteristic inside. They actually listed the number of characteristics which you can check also. So you see the first one, there are 5 characteristics inside. The second one have 1 characteristic. And the third one have 9. So the temperature have 3 and so on. Okay, so what are those doing? You have to start getting the data sheet or the user manual of the device. Because there's no standard. Some device need to enable a flag inside some characteristic before you can even read any data. Yes, what's the question?
There's no security here, sir.
No security.
So that means if there are 10 devices here, I can just read from anybody's. Just
Yes. Yes. No, I mean this sensor, right? No security. You are right.
So I just
Sorry. Can I answer this? There's only one security.
Okay.
You connect to it, it no longer advertise.
Okay.
That's the security. So
So
please do not disconnect it.
Okay.
Yes.
So you basically the idea is you call the UUID, then you can access
Yes.
stuff inside.
Yes. So let's say we choose one actually easy like the device information service because that one I think really no security Device service. So I actually open a service. So 9 characteristics So you go to a screen actually you have to click the characteristic So I click the characteristic. These are all the characteristics inside with a separate UID. They only show the different parts which is the front the back, you still need the long one, such as I think you can see on the top.
Yeah.
You still need the full service. You remember the service with your ID just now? That one you still need. You remove a small part of the 5th bit to the 8th bit, change to your number, then it becomes the new one. For example, let's check for what is the hardware? I thought actually we'll find variable B somewhere. Okay, we check for manufacturer. There's a manufacturer name string, which is the UUID is 2A29, which actually you can just click. Before you click also, there's the properties of the characteristic. Properties means what? R means read only. You can just read. So manufacturer name string, if I click and I read, it's Texas Instrument. This can be easily done in the code. If got time, actually I can simply run some code, it works also. This one very easy. Okay, now the next thing is actually what if you want to write to it? You want to write to it, I need to start a new device because that's the only one I can write to it. Okay, I need to start. Okay. I don't know whether you can see or not, but I need a power bank. Okay, this is this is read, right? So there's one more thing you can do. There are 3 types of properties which is important. You write to it, you read from it, and one more, you get notification, which is totally different. You read from it means actually you at that point you call read the characteristic, you get it up the value, done, end of story. If you write to it, also easy. You at a certain point, if I want to change the property, so you just write to it, done, all one time. Notification is different. You enable notification means every time the value change, right, is sent back to your method. there's a callback, which usually happens for some of the sensor. The value change, they notify you back. But actually, they make it like every minute they also notify you back, that kind of things. So for example, this one, I think there is one actually when I press the button here, it will get notified. But you have to know which one lah. So that's why I say you have to read the. So let's try. We got luck, because I forget which one was it. So let's say I go back. We still, because I want to disconnect and connect to that. So I have to finish everything done with this one first. So you can see the button. Okay, there's a simple key services. Only one characteristic. Okay, so let's say I access the simple key services and show the characteristic. So you see, I got one characteristic only, which you already know. Of course, read the property. N means notify, notification. So which means this one, right? Can you read to it? Can you write to it? You can write to it, but actually you just enable notification. So for example, if I want to click on it, right? I don't know whether this one support or not. And then you have to enable notification, then I enable. Okay, after that, what happens when I click? When I forget where is the data coming in? Is it in info? Oh, then that's the state. So when I press, right, it's get notified. One is when I press. Wait. Oh, this is long press. Sorry, actually I have long time to listen. So press one time is. Wait. Check. Why is it sometimes doesn't do? Oh, I know already. It actually changed here, it doesn't change there. The cast is too slow. So, button 2, button 1. You have to. Why? Okay, I press longer. Button 1. Change. Release. Button 2, press. Change. Release. Okay? It's the lag. You see when I have 0, 2 change to 0, it doesn't even show. Means there's a drop of frame rate. Okay, this is notification. So this one, another one actually which is useful. Of course, then you say, how do we know when is the value coming in? In your code, there will be a callback. As long as the thread is not killed, right, means the services is not killed, you will get it inside certain code lah. Then you do something lah. Okay, let's now try to control lah. So now, just if I know to control, I just exit from here lah. So this is not our app, but actually easily you can find the source code for this. So now if you scan again, now only on. Okay, now if I scan again, I should have a shield. The second one, the BLE don't know is the Anuno clone. So I click on it, and then you start to do the same thing again lah. Show all the services available. Okay, these are different So every device is different, right? All the services. So let's look for the one actually I need. The services which has 1ED1, which is here. 1ED1. Actually, usually we only take these 4 bits to tell why? Because most of the rest are the same. So 1ED1, let's click on it. Let's click on it. Then if I click to the page of characteristic, wow, you see this, but this one is different. You can write to it, you can read from it, you can get notification, and you can get. I very seldom use you can ignore I forget what is it. You check the what we call the documentation you get to know Now I need to know what to write to it, right? That one is totally depend on what is it. So for this one, I need 3 bytes. What byte is it? Forget, because I need to check which pin I connect. I connect to pin 3. Okay, pin 3. So now when I click on the characteristic, right, I can write to it, so I can click right, and they will ask me what value I want to enter. Okay, for this case, it's pin 3, right? So pin 3, and then is right? So it's 0, 0, and then you want it to on, right? 0, 1. So if I send this now, right, the LED will light. I hope so. Right. So the LED light. If you can see, what happened? You actually change the characteristic on the BLE device on that particular characteristic. Like you change the value to 030001. Now if you read it back, I want to read it back also again. So let's keep read. You get something like this because you read it back. So what you write to it, of course, when you read it back is the same lah. So now if you want to off it, easy lah. You need to know what to write to it. So for me, it's still the same. 0300. Off means 001. 00. Then I write, then off lah. That's all, 3 of them. You read, you write, you get notification. So, you want me to show it on Android? What time is it? Actually can or still got time. So before I continue, any questions? Theoretical one or what? Actually very simple, right? So which means that, let's say this sensor, right? What you need to know, what services you need to access. What are the characteristics you need? And I don't think you can write to this, I'm not sure, I depend on the data sheet. You also, the most important is either the notification or the property that you want to read. So for example, this one may tell you actually like, actually I don't know what is supposed to tell you. Okay, the total step until now you have all. There should be just the services, UUID and the characteristic you need to know. So you go and just go to the services, discover the characteristic, read from it, or you get a value, usually in hex. So you use to convert it to integer. Okay, then probably this is 2050 step. And I'm sorry. Next time, then you update this to your UI in your Android. Then you repeat again. Notification is probably like, I think this one no need notifications. Because you don't want it to notify every step, right? Sleep. This is probably just read the.
Does the detection work well with the two points I mentioned?
It doesn't matter. That one doesn't matter. That one is very good actually. Wow. Cannot see that. Too dark. Later in your time have a look.
So that is, you have either one person holding and a walk past.
Yes.
You will be able to detect. Just say walking speed.
I have to be clearer. There's a phone you hold. Let's say a phone you hold. It starts to scan.
You start to scan.
Non-stop scanning. You walk past, it will show here.
You walk past the door.
You walk past, it will show here. Okay. But if it's walk too fast, I don't know whether you got time to do the connection, discovery service.
Say just walk past.
It's actually discovery service, I think you see right, based on your luck. Sometimes very fast, sometimes very slow. Because the problem is actually, this is all low power, can you call it low end? Of course it's low end compared to your phone. But this one like is Arduino, so it's 8-bit microcontroller. Some of them might use ARM, like the TI use ARM, such as this one. But this one also we build ourselves. So this one is actually a beacon. Our own beacon. So actually you can just scan. Oh, no battery yet. Swatch. Oh, short. I think I did some mistake here. Okay, not important. Maybe it's that one. No? How come actually I got hit by shock? It's not important like the same thing. It's just advertise the distance. So this one can turn into slide already. So I quickly go through some slide. So at the end, if you want sample, right, I share with you later. Okay. So what we have done just now, right, you know how it works already, right? So now I actually talk about some of the requirements if you want to do the app. First thing is actually you need permissions. But even though it's not really Bluetooth, but since it's actually grouped under Bluetooth, the permission is the same. You need a Bluetooth permission, you need a Bluetooth admin permission. Why? Because you are doing scanning. You sure need scanning, you sure need discovery and all that. You need the admin permission. Okay, so those two actually need, if you understood what is Android, you know lah, these two permissions is added into your manifest, so that actually when you accept, it's allowed. If not, it crash. Okay, the second one is actually, if you want to publish this on Android Play Store, you have, let's say this only work with a phone with BLE, that's the name for the filter. Put this in the value, put it as required. Any phone without BLE will not see your app in the Play Store. So that you won't want people to download and say it doesn't work, give you 0 or 1 star. So actually this is good lah. So only people with BLE will download it. How to do it exactly, if you want, I can show. I mean, what is the exactly line in the Play Store? Actually, it's in the API documentation also. Next is actually, that's how you detect when, if you, actually you don't have to detect lah, since actually you already make sure the phone has BLE from Play Store lah. But just in case, we also do lah. You actually ask for system feature whether it has Bluetooth LE or not. It's a boolean, true or false lah. If you want to detect lah, means your group very clean lah. If you detect no feature, it's not on and off it's totally no BLE If no BLE, of course, it's a false then you actually just tell him hey, sorry, I cannot use the app. If you want to talk to this and you don't have BLE, actually you really don't want them to use the app lah. Okay? If it's true, then you continue lah. Once you continue, then you actually can call the Bluetooth manager again. The Bluetooth manager is the one actually handle the Bluetooth lah. So that's the line you want. Okay, so I don't go to technical lah, but the term is Bluetooth manager lah. Okay, so once you get a Bluetooth manager, right, it will handle the manager. You ask the Bluetooth manager to get you the Bluetooth adapter on the phone. Very obvious lah. Bluetooth manager get adapter. Okay, this is your Bluetooth inside your phone already. You go to the point actually, you have a Bluetooth adapter. Okay, because you need it to do scanning and all that. So after that,